Welcoming you back to crypto's juiciest news, baby dolls. The Bitcoin price at 103,000 American dollars, and we're about to get mogged from Moody's. Let's crack right on into it, friends. So if you look at the Bitcoin price, there's nothing really to talk about if you're just seeing 103,000 American dollars. But what actually just happened minutes ago was that Moody's, one of the ratings agencies, have downgraded American US debt. So they're AAA, they've downgraded them to AA1. Now, no one gives a crap about Moody's. It just feels like, do you remember how we think that we're gonna like settle and skits around here for a bit and flag out? It feels like the big money who might be pushing up this money, they're like, hey, let's just hold off for a few days, you know, with this downgrade stuff, okay? Now, this is actually, friends, I've got some like nostalgia memories now. Do you wanna know why? The US debt downgrade was the actual very first big worldwide news announcement that your friend Sommi here ever experienced in day trading when I was starting to trade, when I first started. I still remember it. It was here. Now, we were in 2011. Now, friends, I had not lived through the GFC, okay? I had not lived in GFC, okay? I was not trading or anything, okay? So, when I first came to markets and trading, right, all I knew was, this is all I knew. All I knew was that, because it just gets, I didn't know, right? I didn't even know how to look past in data or anything, just checking out or CQG, the charting package and stuff. All you could just see was like, oh crap, markets just go down. They just like go down and down, down. And then in the office, all you'd be hearing about was people who like made a lot of money because like during the GFC, or like it was always like, oh, I made money because things kept going bad, or like, oh, these guys said they were losing money, so like, you know, this country said they're not going to do a deal, and like they saw like the S&P 500 index shooting down, like just collapsing, so then they would go sell, you know, an Australian product or that Chinese product, the Hang Seng, whatever, right, just to correlate with it. So the stories I ever heard, or they'd go buy bonds, right? That's if you're betting on things getting worse, the bond price would go up, right? Because there's demand for it, so make the yields go down. So that's the only stuff I'd hear about. And then what actually happened was, during this time, I remember 2011, friends, I was like right here, I just saw this like 5% down day in 2011, and everyone was like, because you have no frame of reference, I was like, whoa, 5% down on the S&P 500. I had no idea what the hell that meant. Is 5% a big number? I had no idea, right? But apparently that was huge. And this volatility, I know it doesn't look like much, okay? You can't see it, but this volatility was insane, okay? Literally insane. Some people made like their whole years of profit trading like in these 2 weeks. Yeah, obviously I was just starting, had no idea what the hell they were doing, right? So it was crazy, yeah. And the story, what actually happened was, so they downgraded the US debt, and that's when Barack Obama was in there. They downgraded the US debt, and they downgraded and just sent everything into a tailspin, because this is the craziest part, because this was like after QE1. They'd done the first QE thing. This when Ben Bernanke says, that's it, no more, we're just doing this, we're gonna try this QE stuff, right? And so they downgrade. But what actually ended up happening was, they ended up later on, this is crazy, right? So obviously they got a phone call from the US government. They go, bro, take that off, okay? Because it's all rigged, right? But their explanation was, it was an accounting error. They said, oh, no, sorry, in our accounting report, we forgot to add, you know, it was just a basic clerical error. We forgot to add some sort of, you know, assets that the US government's meant to have, and the treasuries are fine. The treasuries are fine, right? So the reason why they even announced that, they didn't even think it would be big news, is because the ratings agencies, they let everybody down in the GFC. So because friends, the ratings agencies, they just said everybody's AAA, and then everything basically went bankrupt. They go, you're not AAA, man. You can't afford crap, right? So then that's why they started getting a bit tough, and what ended up happening, government was like, hey. You know, when we said play fair for us, we didn't actually mean that, right? So this is taking me back, friends. Now I'm just seeing another downgrade, all right? But you're not going to get that volatility. It's different context, right? Like, I'm glad we got to share that story, because everybody had just remembered the GFC collapses. So it's still fresh in everybody's mind. Oh, no, there's going to be volatility. And by the way, you want to know, friends, talk about me getting schooled in markets. Friends, talk about me getting schooled. I did not have any idea how on earth this thing went up. Okay, I could not believe it just literally just went up. I kept thinking it was going to collapse. It was going to collapse. It was going to collapse. I kept thinking it was going to collapse. I still remember here as well, 2012. Yeah, kept thinking it's going to collapse. They never collapsed, man. The market just kept going up. Slowly, tick, 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 tick. And yeah, it was very, very, like, it's a wise lesson just to learn that. And I still, by the way, I didn't even become a bull or anything, you know? Back then, friends, I'd heard, it was funny, I heard of people who were long biased traders back then, 2011, and I didn't even believe it. I'm like, no. How do you make money being long? The things only crash. It's kind of funny how fast, how far we've come, friends, how far things have changed. Now, you wouldn't believe it. It was perma bear Sommi, because that's all we ever saw, everything going down. And then it took me like years and years and years and years of research to go, oh my gosh, the richest people actually go turbo long spot altcoins and hold the longest period of time. Because why? The trader, okay, the person who like ignores all that and does trading, they underestimate how many trades they're going to take to retire or how long they'll be doing it. Yeah. They think, oh yeah, by the 5th year, I'll be making like 300 grand a year, 500 grand a year. That's what they think. Totally wrong. Totally, not even close, right? So it's actually optimal if you want to help the most number of people, right? And remember, I'm just not giving financial advice. I'm just saying if I had a room full of people and I was allowed to give them financial advice, okay, and let's say I had 100 people, yeah, if I really wanted to help all 100, I go, okay, your turbo long spot altcoins, I go, you have a job, you have some sort of income, whatever it is, or go work a job and just DCA money in, okay, because what you'll be able to thrash into the market for savings in the next 3 years will do, like for 98% of people, 98 out of 100 people, you will be way better off just DCA buying. Let's say you make 50 grand a year. Let's say all you can put is like 10 grand savings a year. 10, just keep compounding it. You will like thrash your on average, your traders' results. Now, one guy's going to make it. But then, friends, like even I saw from trading prop firm, man, after the year 3, year 4, year 5, your edge is all shifting and changing. And then you're basically resetting. You know, so that was also another eye-opener. The S&P 500, though, friends, this is it right now. But it's actually the cash, right? So it actually hasn't even opened yet. I think if you want, you can actually look at the SPX. I think this is it right now, right into the close. You see it just has like this drop-off here, 0.4%. This is nothing, man. This is literally nothing. So there's nothing to worry about out here. But why I'm just expecting volatility, I don't think anything bad's going to happen. It's just one of those things. I'm like, oh, you know, we're like waiting for the channel to kind of like form for Bitcoin. Maybe this is like, maybe that's like, oh, that's the cue for maybe we'll just chill out for a few days. We flag out before we finally rise up. Hopefully it's a few days and not a few weeks, right? So we have a look at the Bitcoin chart on the weekly. It's still hanging around and cranking up here as well. I still maintain, friends, around here, this 90,000, you know, this zone that we're in here. I feel like this is the pit stop, right? We've done the pit stop here. That's why I feel like in the bull market, we might come back here. This might be the floor. But I know you can't see it now, but first we have to discover higher prices. I hope we get like, you know, 250K or whatever. And then eventually like there's some sort of capitulation comes back down here. So that it's nice that at least we thought about some sort of a floor for the future cycle. But what about Ethereum, friends? Let's crank it a bit.
Don't you think like that? I will love you endlessly. If you don't believe in me, don't you feel like that?
Here is Ethereum. Ethereum, friends, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You see these bubbles? 6 touches of the price 3,800. 6. Some say 6. So I'm very confident. All right. And by very confident, I mean, I don't know what's going on, just squiggly lines. All right. When we finally crack through this, man, I can't believe it's been 6 freaking times, bro. It's been so much. This is like a 5-year freaking price in the making. When we finally crack 3,800, I believe this is like the new bear market floor. ETH is never going below here again. It might come back here and scare everyone in the bear market, right? So it leaves you to question how high could it go? Well, I've made videos for Ethereum stock price. I think 13K to 16K. Depends on how high Ethereum, Bitcoin goes. 13 to 16K, that could be it, right? Boop, 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 boop. And then eventually come back in a bear market, everyone thinks it's over, and then we continue later on. That would be fantastic if we get something like that. Remember, we have all these potential narratives for it. real world assets, tokenization, the stablecoin SuperCycle, right? The US government wants to put CBDCs and like pretend they're not CBDCs. They want to put them on crypto. So all of these things you can just basically dream and speculate about. This is the global liquidity index from my friend Carlin Talks Crypto. So right here, it is, we're pretty much stalling out. Isn't it funny, friends? It said we're going to stall out. Isn't it funny? Look at it. It just says we're going to go sideways, just do nothing. When is this till the 24th of May? Yeah, so it pretty much says for the week, we just do nothing. But here we go, 7 days, flagging out. And then we start continuing up. Man, that's just, I hope it works out. We'll see. So as far as I'm concerned, we can see it. We can pretty much identify it now. Like it's, because we had such gruesome, disgusting 5 red months in a row of OTHERS-btc, man, it was just pathetic. And it was printing the 6th, right, until we just did this like late last minute reversal. Because we've had that, I'm very confident the next 3 months are going to be good, okay? The next 3 months. But we've been confident before and then everything keeps going down. But how good? That's the thing. And 3 months, you can't really like, are you going to retire for 3 months? No. Okay, this is OTHERS-btc that we can see out here. So these are the disgusting months. We still got to erase this pain, man. But like we got a while to go, you know what I mean? Like we got a while to go just to erase this freaking Trump November dump. And Trump was cheap enough to erase the freaking 2023 dump and then 2022 dump. My God, we got a long way to go. But as you've seen with Ethereum, when the market wants to go, it's there's not much on the offer, which is beautiful to see. Now, friends, this is the S&P 500 chart, right? I want to tell you something. Based off all the stocks in the S&P 500, based off what's called the breadth, like, you know, of the top 50 biggest companies and stuff like here, they do all these stats, man. The numbers for S&P 500 are looking huge. Okay, you know, want to know how big? Based off the number of days in a row, based off how many stocks are above like that 50 EMA or whatever, how much breadth there is, how much they're all moving up. In 29 out of 30 cases in the past 120 years, S&P 500 is higher in a year and 2 years. 29 out of 30. That's wild. So it's pretty much, obviously, one of them was probably the Great Depression. That was probably the stat where like it was like, you know, they were so far low and then went up and then like had another failure, which continued. So that's actually wild, friends. Actually from today. So like literally in 29 out of 30 times by Marwai next year, that's wild, man. By Marwai next year, we're higher. I mean, it could be 1%, but yeah, the average is like, you know, whatever, 7%. 6,400. Man, that's crazy. So you never know. We might actually get Trump to do something. Man, that'd be crazy if we actually did that. That'd be beautiful. That's a big win for crypto. Now, where are we all going to go ultimately? I'll be making for you, friends, the amount of high-value content crypto I'm making. I'm just like, just screw it, dude. Just put a price on it. Just put a price. I'm like, no, but it's priceless. That's the thing. When there's so much value, you can't put a price on it. You just can't. Also, friends, you know, it's a long-running joke. That's why there's a lot of new people. Okay, a lot of new people. I haven't told you this in a while. Okay, the reason why all my high-value content in crypto is free is because we flipped the industry on its head. What the industry experts usually do is they say, give me money and I'll teach you something. No guarantees. Okay, that's what they usually do. Give me your money now, I'll teach you something. But what I obviously show you is, hey, come on this journey with me. Long-term holding actually crushes everything. And if you're going to be holding long-term, well, that's why I tell you, like, logically, if you give me money, all right, let's say you pay for a service. I'm like, man, who am I trying to help? I'm trying to help the guy with like, you know, $4,000 in his savings. The girl with like, you know, maybe she got $17,000 saved up. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm trying to help. I'm not trying to help that person like, you know, 18 million. So I'm trying to help them. I'm like, man, I can't take like, you know, $3,000 off someone who's got like $5,000 savings. Because that's what all the Tai Lopez's will tell them. They go, invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. You know, people who say invest in yourself, they're always selling like a self-help course thing as well. Invest in yourself. By the way, $2,000, come join me. You know, they always say that, man. So, all right, I respect the hustle. Okay, but I just can't do that knowing, like I show you charts. I'm like, okay, well, if cryptocurrency industry, I really do believe it's going to 10 trillion, okay? That's a 3x on the industry from here. Altcoins, there will be 100x or 1000x altcoins. 50, 100x. Hopefully PulseChain and Hex do a 50 or 100x. pDAI to $1 is 500x. You know what I mean? At one point, it was only 30x away to the dollar. Do you see what I mean? Like, there's big opportunity. And the altcoins on PulseChain, oh my gosh, all the other altcoins, cheese. You know what I mean? Like, if PulseChain itself is going to do like a 20, 30, 40, 50x in that first wave, they might do like, 50, 100, 200, 300x and some wild stuff, right? So it would just kill me to even know, like, oh yeah, I feel like I'm just robbing someone in the future to do that, even though it's like it's a twisted way to think about it, but it's not really, because like all these people who talk about long-term holding, like the same shows that everybody's watching in crypto, the lowest value content in crypto out there, I watch them with you, friends. They're like, long-term holding, got to play the whole cycle. Anyway, sign up to options, sign up to this trading, sign up to this, sign up to that. And I'm like, bro, do you understand what you're saying? Literally the same episode, you're telling people long-term holding, buy and hold, believe, and then you're literally saying, here's a product where you get destroyed, but my sponsors actually make a commission. You are the yield for them. I can't believe the incongruency that occurs here. So yeah, I really do believe in it, friends. I really do believe in it so much. I'm giving you the highest value content in crypto because I'm just abundance mindset. I help everyone. If you want to tip me 1 Ethereum at the end, you can. Obviously, I had a joke. Maybe Ethereum's only $20 by then. Maybe you can tip me like 4 Ethereum. We're just joking, okay? So that's why I've just flipped it on the head. I go, no. How about I help you first, and then you'll see it works once it's time. Because all we got to do, what we're doing is we're just dangling a carrot in front of our stick, in front of our head. That's all we're doing. And we're like, oh man, another red month. But then I show you stuff like, hey man, look, we're still going up. And then we look at our altcoins and we're like, oh man, but what about Ethereum? What about this, but that? That's when friends, when I give you these, friends, when I say highest value content in crypto, okay, it is not even close. They're not even the same dimension as this. Highest value content in crypto, okay? I practice what I preach. And I even show you this, man. This is the business cycle, right? No one does this. No one looks at this. No one in crypto. Nobody in crypto looks at this and they don't know how to use it. Literally nobody, okay? I've known about it. You see Raoul Pal's presentations, okay? It's just literally long everything, okay? But when those higher up people, we've probably got a net worth of a couple $100 million. Yeah, here's long everything means go buy the top 3 market cap coins. That's what it is. He says long Bitcoin, long Ethereum, long soy. Okay, that's what it is. Okay, but are you gonna retire? I know, man. I know. Like it's funny. The people who bought Bitcoin 10 years ago, they didn't have like 420,000 to invest. They only had 4,000. Yeah, they just bought Bitcoin, did 100x. Yeah, Bitcoin went from $500 to 100K. Yeah, that's 200x. Yeah, you see what I mean? So like now they're saying, because it's funny, they don't even speak to themselves anymore. They've like outgrown themselves, and they're like, oh, how can't relate? You've only got $500. So what they do is they go, don't worry, this thing's going to 13 million. I'm like, that's convenient for someone who never ever wants to look at anything else. I hope it goes to 13 million. That's a lot of money printing. And that brings me to the next section, friends, as well. Bitcoin follows global M2 money printer. Altcoins follow the business cycle. Yeah. I discovered that. I marked that. I did all of that. I give that here for free for you. Don't you want to know, hey, why is this thing dog shit? Why is this thing bad? Yeah, we had 30 red months in a row. 30 red months. At one point, it was only 13 months. And I'm like, don't worry, anytime now. Like, look at this. We had 6, we had 12, we had 10. I'm like, okay, cool. Maybe we'll get a bad one that's like 13 or 14 months, right? And then 14 became 18, became 20, became 22, 24, 28. Now we're on month 30. Actually, we're going to month 31 because the next one probably won't be ticking above 52. That's wild, right? But at least you know, man. Knowledge is power. At least you know. You're like, because what's everyone saying? You picked wrong. They say you have no narrative. That's what all the people who GD, you have no narrative. Narrative doesn't even matter. You have no narrative. You picked wrong. It's Bitcoin only. Ethereum is never going to recover. All these things are bad. Let me go follow everything else that has the cherry pick stuff that's gone up. That's what they're all saying. And I'm saying, no, you're wrong. I go, you're really, really, really wrong. You've basically, like, it's a football match that goes for 90 minutes, and you're saying it's in minute 89, but really, it's like 17 minutes into the game out of a 90-minute game. But you're saying it's like minute 89. That's what they're saying. They're just giving up, right? So once you have this, you know what's going on. And then I show you, hey, I'm still holding. It's funny, friends. I still get people all the time saying, but Sommi, but this coin went down, and how did you make money on this? Go, what do you mean make money, bro? Just took the hit. Literally just got crushed. Literally just dicked. Lost. And then their brain's like, oh. I'm like, yeah, bro. You don't win everything, right? Your home run way, way, way more than makes up for it. Okay? And it's not even close. You're not meant to win on everything. Because what's winning means you keep selling it. Yeah, but you're going to sell the unicorn. You're going to sell your thing running when business ISM is 54, 56, 58, 60. Yeah, you're going to be selling that way, way, way too early. because you're so conditioned to you have to win. If you're so conditioned to have to win, go do trading because you get the dopamine hit. Oh, I won today, or I've swing trading every 1 or 3 days, okay? With this, friends, it's literally, maybe you've heard of a guy who said this before, delaying gratification. Right? What's delay gratification means? It means I'm not going to take the dopamine hit every day because I can see a super long-term chart, even like this, right? You see a super long-term chart, okay, friends? This is delaying gratification. You know this? This is a monthly chart, by the way. How do you think, friends, we went from the world is literally dying of a zombie virus, and then I want to pay $400,000 for a monkey JPEG. That was the top of Bored Apes up here. Think about this, okay? We literally went from, oh my gosh, we're all going to die, to give me that JPEG. I will literally pay the price of a house for this monkey JPEG. Yeah? See this? Okay, but who got there? People who delayed gratification. And obviously that represents all the altcoins and stuff out here, right? So, you know, is society ever going to recover again? 100% it is. Okay, is this time different? No, it's not. All right? I'm actually going to give you a bit of a sneak peek as well, friends. I have this information. Thank you to my baby doll Cryptico for showing me this. We had the highest standard deviation for new purchasing orders on future. This is third future orders. See this pink line? See this? It's the fourth standard deviation. See how high this is? That's Donald Trump's economic boom. So do you remember our business ISM? So remember, you know how we know business ISM, like leads and like it gives you a very, very good indicator of the cycle, right? Well, what they try to do is they try to guess what's a forward-looking indicator for the business ISM. Now, it is quite volatile, but they can guess it the next 3 to 6 months, okay? So what they do is they go to ask new purchasing managers, like, hey, they get a category of like new items. I forgot exactly how they do it. They go, hey, is there anything out there that you're buying that's like brand new? It's kind of amazing the ideas they think about, right? They've had this for like, you know, economic data. And it makes sense. Like over your purchasing manager, here are the 8 items you buy. And they're like, no. Is there anything new that you've bought? Have you bought like a new this or a new that? Now, I'm not sure exactly how it works, but it's kind of a cool idea. Like, because if you're buying new stuff, it probably means you're expecting really, really good things. You see what I mean? It's kind of cool. So it's kind of like if you went to somebody's home, right? And like, oh, they upgraded their fridge. They upgraded their toaster, right? They upgraded their, their pot plant. Okay, they did that. Yeah, but then, right, imagine the next month, they put a fountain in the driveway. You're like, whoa. That's a new item. You put a fountain in your driveway. That's not just an ordinary upgrade. That's a new purchase. You see? And they use that as a gauge. Well, that gauge is telling us we're about to go boom. That's what actually the gauge is saying. So that forward-looking indicator, that's our old season set in stone. Now, we don't know how long it's going to go, right? So if you look at everything, friends, right now, business ISM and everything cranking up, we can actually look at that OTHERS-btc, and we take it month by month. There's obviously 2 scenarios that I have, okay? I know it doesn't feel like it's possible, but it is just possible. We just have like 7 green months in a row, never before done. 7 green altcoin months in a row. And then we just finish off at the end of this year, 4-year cycle. That is possible, okay? That is possible. And then the bear market starts, and then there's a complacency run next year, March, April, May somewhere, and it's pretty much done, okay? That could be it, yeah? 7 months in a row. Or another alternative is we run 3 months, we reset, and then it's extending into next year, whatever that means. So we're just going to hold off what it is. It is very, very possible. We're like, you got to think about like, oh, we're just going to, like, it. I know it sounds crazy, but like, what if we literally just ran 7 months in a row? You know what I mean? That would be absolutely wild. Because if we did, going up every single month for altcoins, no one's going to think 2026 is anything dangerous, right? But we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. Now, friends, cracking on with some news. President Trump says the US will send letters to countries for new trade deals, adopting Richard Hart's postcard strategies. Yeah, sending postcards. So you get to see, right, the stock market's already high again. So you're like, okay, I guess you're sorting out all your issues, right? You just need to look at the stocks. They price everything in. Binance founder CZ says Abu Dhabi is the AI and blockchain center of the world. It's good for him to say stuff like that because there's higher odds Donald Trump is going to get manifested by us. Remember, we're manifesting Donald Trump making a crypto Silicon Valley, like an actual city, right? He goes, hey, this is for your crypto degens. This is your city. It's a crypto AI, a tech city, right? Silicon Valley expansion or something, which would be crazy. Bull market stuff too. Stake and Shake officially begins accepting Bitcoin on all locations. So a friendly reminder, I know when you come in, I got to teach you all these concepts, okay? I got to remind everyone. When you can pay with your currency, it's now dog poop. All right. You don't want to own something where you can pay for it as a currency. Do you want to own the US dollar? No, you don't. You can pay for it anyway. Okay. You want to own something when no one accepts it yet. Yeah. That's a speculation part. The best time to buy Bitcoin was when literally nobody accepted it. Okay. So now, obviously, don't run wild with this. Go, oh, I'm going to buy any scam, right? But not talking like that. But you know what I mean, right? Don't think, oh wow, this thing is super safe. It's our currency. It means you're way later into a mature cycle compared to the opportunity cost out there, right? But it is beautiful that all merchants around the world will start accepting it. Banks, this banking system is trash. You got to wait too long for your money, and they block you anyway. They're all Tether. They're all USD trash anyway. They just block and blacklist and just do whatever. They ask you 15,000 questions. They try to peek into your butthole. They're like, how'd you get this money? What did you do with this money? You know what I mean? Like, because these people in the banking industry, yeah, because the regulations, it's all passed by the central bank, by the way. This is kind of funny. People are like, oh, this bank's stupid. No, they're not stupid, dude. They're not stupid. Do you understand where they get the orders from? From the central bank. Do you understand? They're literally running the whole show. The central bank allows these guys to print the currency. They control everything. They pretend, no, we're neutral. They're not neutral, bro. Just shut up. Okay, I know how it works. We all know how it works. Okay, that's why the crypto industry was made, by the way. If what we say about how the banking industry really works, if what we say was wrong, Bitcoin would be zero right now. It's not, okay? We've got a $3.3 trillion industry precisely because of how corrupt the banking industry is. Basel Medical Group announces plans to acquire 1 billion Bitcoin. So we're going to see more of that. More FOMO is going to appear, friends. Yeah, we'll play some packaging music quick. More FOMO is going to appear. More companies will buy it. It will have a bad ending, okay? It will have a bad ending, but bad for them. Good for us. We get to buy dips, okay, in the next bear market. But also, they're going to probably remember, friends, my prophecy from 2 years ago. Do you remember what I was saying in 2022? I said, all those mums and dads, they're going to over leverage on the Bitcoin ETF. Yeah. And they're all going to contribute to getting the government to put stricter crypto regulations and Bitcoin regulations. So the people you're onboarding to make a quick buck, now they're going to be your worst enemy because they outnumber all the rich people. That's what's going to happen. Of course it's going to happen. Because, friends, what we've seen is people just don't want to take responsibility, there's kids, they don't want to tell their mum that they're degen. There's husbands, they don't want to tell their wives, oh crap, I gamble too much. They don't want to do that. So, but look, a lot of people do. A lot of people are like, you know what? It is what it is. Let's move on with life. But there are a few people, they're like, no, let's go grab a lawyer. Let's go contact the US government. Let's tell them that this exchange or these Bitcoiners, they were the reason I lost all my savings. They didn't warn me about the price volatility. They didn't tell me this couldn't happen, right? So that's probably how it leads. But to get to that point, we have to trap them first. They're not even in yet. Yeah, there's too many haters. There's too many Peter Schiffs and stuff out there. We have to get them in first. What price does that look like? 250K BTC, hopefully. Remember, these guys are going to acquire 1 billion of Bitcoin, friends. So all these non-investor companies, when they're going to get in, eventually the weak Jeets are going to get in to try save their failing companies. Yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. That'd be wonderful. Wonderful for you and me. You know what I mean? Not for everybody FOMO buying on them. NVIDIA and OpenAI partner with the Emirates to help build one of the world's biggest AI data centers. So hopefully this gets to Trump and he tries to do something like that in Americana as well. Senator Bill Hagerty says the Senate will make history next week by passing crypto stablecoin legislation. Once again, your friend Sommi here, highest value content in crypto. I have made countless videos to tell you about the urgent reminder, the Stablecoin SuperCycle is real and confirmed. Okay, look at this. Peg nipples, Stablecoin SuperCycle. I've even told you, you don't have many things in crypto to punt on this at all. You basically, if you going down the list, okay, MakerDAO, Athena, right? By proxy, which you don't really want to touch for this narrative, you could get Ripple. It's only got a 3.5x to BCB's maximum thing. Maybe Ethereum, 3 to 5x, but you want to bet on something sexy, check this out. pDAI is now 500x away to $1 if this works out. By the way, even if it only hits 10 cents, yeah, that's 50x. So it's 50x to 10 cents. Think about MakerDAO, Athena, Ripple, and ETH. If you want to play proxies for stablecoin narratives, if you're a cuck, you want by the way, just tell you like when you're trying to play a narrative thing, just buy the thing you know about. Trust me, 99 times out of 100, just buy the thing you know about. The other stuff, the market doesn't work how you think. All right, you need your core to get really successful to give the other things life. Okay, but if your thing's never successful first, right, it can't happen. So I believe in pDAI. My nipples remain pegged, and yes, I will peg them right now. Right, a lot of people, friends, ask me for POP, proof of peg. We're gonna pop it right here. And also, friends, we still have POB. What's POB? Proof of Band-Aid. I'm telling you now, there will be a Band-Aid run on your local pharmacy store. So be careful, okay? We need one of those on-chain glass chode, those on-chain data charts to show the liquid supply of Band-Aids at all the stores. I guarantee they're literally falling off a cliff. Running out. Now, also saw some funny things to show that crypto cycle's coming back. Elon Musk has trolled Tim Walls for celebrating Tesla's stock price drop last month. He said, "Yo, Timmy, how's your day, bro? Because Tesla is up 55%. So it's just showing you, friends. See, Tesla is Elon's stock. Okay, it's like crypto. It's memes and network effects. Yeah, memes and network effects. And when they centralize, we have like a name and a label, and we take it personally. This is why Elon, I guess, relates to young people more than like, other Gen Xers or boomers. It's a different world, man. Back in that boomer world, there was nothing like this. You have to be diplomatic, right? Back in like Uncle Bobby Lucas's days, when they're giving cigarettes to kids, right? And I put aluminium, lead, plutonium in my baby bottle milk for my child. You know what I mean? Those days, right? So back then, friends, it's just totally different. You don't talk like that. Okay, back then, that's like you have to be an adult. Everything's serious. It's like I respect the wishes of the market. That would be your response back then. Now, we don't like that. Now we're like, oh, you're a cuck. You're a pussy. You're just going to let him say that, right? Why don't you give him the chord? Why don't you give him that? Tell him to suck it. That's exactly what basically Elon Musk did. It's kind of funny, man. 400 billion net worth. Think about this. $400 billion net worth, knows about the UFO tech, okay, and pretends to not know about it, lying to everybody. He's got 13 kids, probably doesn't even know half their names. I guarantee he doesn't even know half their names, okay? Okay, literally do all these things to basically plague his mind about, okay? He's trying to bang Tiffany Fong, right? Just all these things coming out, trying to run Doge, what's going on, build another rocket, build an AI. Still, one dude saying, your stock's down, got to him. It's very interesting, friends. It's the difference between men and women, right? That ego button, like it's so easy to press for us. Your stock's down. We all react to it. You know what I mean? Update. Blackrock spot ETFs bought 3,900 BTC and about 3,000 ETH on May 15. Look at that ratio. They're buying 1-to-1. Now, of course, it's just one day. I've cherry picked. It's just one day, the latest one. But it's interesting. They're buying 1-to-1. They're buying 1-to-1. Just to show you how blown out. Because remember, these ETFs, it's from the public. Yeah. So I calculated the ratio of the money they're putting in. They've put in like, they put in 400 million into Bitcoin and then only 8 million into ETH. Right? 408. So literally, it's buying at a ratio of 0.02. So I like seeing what the market, because this is interesting, right? It's a data point because people in there aren't thinking about what they're doing. So you think it's chaotic and random, but it's not. It's just interesting. And that's why like Ethereum is really, really, really underpriced. These guys don't know what they're doing. They're like basically, but you're not surprised, right? But yeah, we remember that ratio. Remember that. Because I think they're going to put the Ethereum ETF staking now. Now you can earn the yield on it. So yeah, we'll keep that mental note. They're buying 1-to-1 of Bitcoin and ETH. Wonder how that's going to change as the ratio changes in the future. Basically, its price goes up. Latest Federal Reserve, Bank of New York, and Bank of International Settlements are testing smart contracts to explore tokenized monetary policy. Just a friendly casual reminder. We invented crypto because we can't trust the government, okay? Because we can't trust the government, can't trust humans. You give them power, they keep debasing everybody. Now, after long thinking, I don't disagree with what the government does. It's better to debase money than to make everybody go through a Great Depression, because you don't just see prices go down 80% and come back. People lose all their confidence to invest in business, and it takes like 10 years, 15 years to wipe the generation out. So that's a big risk to happen, right? So what the government does is, as it's happening, they go, hey, let's just do inflation tax on everybody to boost everything back up immediately. Because if we make you, like, you've been suffering for 3 months or 6 months or 1 year, if we make them suffer another 1, 2, 3, 4 years, they're never going to want to have anything to do with business. They're just going to, it's going to be like turmoil. That's actually Great Depression stuff, right? But the thing is, now we have the Bitcoin vehicle. So we're like, hey, we have it as an option now. Okay, that's why they call Bitcoin like a peaceful protest. Okay, so they're going to keep printing it. But then obviously what's going to happen is, when too many people are in the crypto system, look what the government's doing. The government's just coming right in. And they're obviously doing like these smart contract stuff out here. So that's what CBDCs let people do, right? So a smart contract, for example, when you go to apply for a loan, you can get a loan. That's probably the future. You roll forward 10 to 30 years. Everyone's got a digital ID, right? Probably linked to your fingerprint or whatever. And, you can get a loan from a bank, which is just online. You don't even go to a store. And it checks your age, right? It checks your age. It probably checks what industry you're in. Maybe the government in that time, they're like, oh, if you're in the hospitality industry, you've been doing it tough lately, so we're going to give you like a booster. If you go apply for like a loan in the next, like 24 months, we'll give you, let's say the loan costs you like, 7%. You can get it for 6%, right? But you have to be working in the hospitality industry. And it's all by smart contract. It's all part of your ID, right? So you just do all that stuff automatically. That's the type of stuff they can do. And also they can do stuff like change your interest rate depending on how old you are. So if you're like over 60 years old, they'll probably give you like a 6% yield on the interest rate. But if you're like 25, they'll give you like 1.0% or 0.5, because they don't want you to have any money in your bank account. They want you to spend and invest. So they can do stuff like that. It's total control manipulation stuff. Also, friends, latest, Galaxy Digital is in talks with the SEC to tokenize its own stock and other equities. So the tokenization of stuff, remember, they just mint tokens, they put them on the chain. Now the chain says, oh, you've added like 100 billion in there, but it doesn't trade, okay? That's why the big money, we just want them to come in and like get optimistic about it all. And that's probably what will happen, right? As all the money's coming to move in, everyone's like in crypto, because naturally what they'll do is they'll look at the rails it's on Ethereum. Okay, they'll be buying Ethereum network, and they'll be buying some soy. They'll be buying pretty much everything in crypto. All right, and then the markets, we're going to price that in. We're going to price in all the tokenization and everything as we get probably to like, hopefully BTC 200K, 300K. Hopefully we've got the high numbers, but we'll see. Bullish. Mr. Bo Hines, the executive director of Digital Ass for the White House, just claimed digital ass technology is the next generation of finance. The USA is ready to lead it, which is beautiful. America, pro-crypto administration, like, I know, like, just something tells me this one's got some rocket fuel in it, man. Like, the administration being this pro-crypto, it feels like if we're ever going to get an upside surprise, it has to be this one. It has to be, man. Like, the whole government, they're just giving everybody the okay. Crime season's okay. Everything's okay. You know what I mean? So we'll see. It doesn't just like teleport the prices now, but it might come in a way where I'll show you. Maybe OTHERS-btc, maybe we're on that 6th candle. Maybe it does a 7th one, and the 7th one's big, just to give you an example. Or it continues for 2 big double bubble alt seasons. You know what I mean? Like, it appears somewhere there. So I guess we'll just have to be patient and see. Also, Ethereum's gas fees have just dropped to 9 cents. Very, very, very low. Right here, very low, 9 cents. But remember, they're based off demand. So there's not much to do on like Ethereum mainnet, because they've taken everything. They've taken to all the layer 2s. I wonder if we're going to have a season and stuff to come out. We'll see when it comes to that. But it's coming back to the same game, friends. We're going to have to keep holding and keep believing. Like, subscribe, bit, but no, catch you soon.